When talking about food scarcity, the numbers or statistics are also incredibly important. For instance, according to foodaidfoundation.org, some 795 million people in the world do not have enough food to lead healthy and active lives. That's about 1 in 9 people on the planet. That's shocking, isn't it? Well, here's some other facts and statistics. The vast majority of the world's hungry population lives in developing or third world countries, where about 12.9% of the population is undernourished. And Asia is actually the continent with the most hungry people, nearly two-thirds of the entire continent, in fact. Luckily, the numbers have fallen in recent years in southern Asia, but seem to have increased slightly for western Asia, which is highly unfortunate. But despite that, sub-Saharan Africa is actually the region with the highest prevalence, that is, percentage of people who are hungry. Nearly 1 in 4 people there are undernourished. But on top of all of that, children are some of the most heavily affected by food scarcity. Poor nutrition causes nearly half, or specifically 45%, of all deaths in children per year, and roughly 1 out of 6, or about 100 million children in developing countries is underweight. The economics of the situation is also worrying. The World Food Program calculates that about 3.2 billion US dollars would be needed per year to reach all of the millions of hungry school-aged children. And according to Asma Latif, director for the Bread for the World Institute, the old adage that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure has never been more applicable. Federal nutrition programs are critical, and much more needs to be done to ensure that vulnerable and underserved communities have access to healthy and sufficient food. And according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, 9.2% of the world population experienced severe levels of food insecurity and scarcity in 2018. And another look at the extent of food insecurity beyond just severe levels shows that an extra 17.2% of the world population, or 1.3 billion people, have experienced food insecurity at moderate levels, meaning that they didn't have regular access to sufficient or nutritious food. The combination of moderate to severe levels of hunger brings the total estimate of about 26.4% of the world population. That's about 2 billion people. And for reference, there's about 7.7 billion people living on Earth right now. That's a fourth of the world population, a near incomprehensible amount. And unfortunately, this issue is only going to continue to get worse until we figure out why people don't have access to food and what we can do about it. But let's take a look at the demographics of those affected next.